You're watching the Go Crying the Walk-In podcast. I'm Chef Cholo, and you already know. Today's guest is someone that's kind of close to me. We kind of walked the same lines. We went to the same high school. We went to the same cooking school. He's a good friend of my little brother's and a lot of people that I know. Today's guest is Henry Freidank. What's up, brother?
Chef, what's up?
How we doing, all right?
Good to see you, good to see you.
Hardcore motherfucker right here. Started cursing right away. How's that?
X-rated. So what's going on?
So how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Thanks for
Good.
having me.
John Glenn alumni. Here we are, sir.
91.
91 for you? 88. 85 for me. 88 for college. 85.
Damn.
Things changed from 85 to 91, though. You guys did not have the freedoms we had, sir.
I believe it.
No, you didn't have that.
It.
We were allowed to do whatever we want in high school. I remember smoking weed out back and then taking acid and then getting caught for smoking weed and then having to go to in-school suspension on acid. That wasn't a good day. Pete Polina, was he still
He was there, Polina and Perez.
How about this? My mom was like a hallway aide. So like on your way to the office, you had to pass my mom. You know what I mean? It wasn't good. It was never comfortable. So, we both graduate high school. I go on to the Culinary Institute of America. I graduate in 88. You graduate high school. You go on to the Culinary Institute of America.
Right to CA, yeah. I was rocking in Friendly's.
Friendly's on Lockfield Road.
No, I was in Greenlawn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you lived that way.
I lived
Yeah.
that way.
That was a good Friendly's.
That was the gateway.
That was the gateway to hell.
I went to...
oh, but wait a minute. You went to Wilson Tech,
I went to Wilson
right?
Tech.
Who was your teacher? Bill Monterulli?
Yeah. He was my senior.
Guy was great. I was his first class.
And is that right? And
he got me into college.
Me too. He was the alumni.
Signed the
Signed the papers.
Because back then you had to have 5-6 years of experience. Yeah. You graduated early, right? Like young, right?
Yeah, I was 17, and then right to CAA, and then 2 years. I was 19 when I was out.
I wasn't even 9 yet. I think I might have had my 19th birthday right after I graduated. Even I was right. It was most of the guys in my class were like 30, 32.
Yeah, I was young.
You know what I mean? There was a guy in my class that was 47.
Yeah, and I came home, and all my friends were home from college, so I wanted to hang out. My mom's like, "Oh, you just finished culinary school. You got to get a job." So I got a job at the deli, so I could hang out.
What deli? Anderson's Deli?
No, I was in Huntington. Someone she went to high school with. It's
like
it's
one of your
there.
mom's friends.
One of my mom's friends. She's
That's
like,
nice.
I was home like a week. She's like, get to work.
Go to work.
But then I went to Conrad's after that. That was my first.
That was right after that. We met at Conrad's.
Right after that summer. I was in the fall.
Dominic's over there. I always include Dominic. He's right behind us.
Sweet.
I think when you came to work that day, Dominic, he came on a skateboard when he came to work. You rode a skateboard to work.
Yeah.
You dig that, right, Dom?
I worked at Muller's Meats on Jericho.
Ronnie Muller. Shout out to Ronnie Muller.
And I used to skate home with veal bones from my neighbor's dog.
Dude, we used to go hang out. I knew Ronnie and some of his sisters.
He was a good dude.
He was
two sisters and a mom.
He was a cool cat.
Yeah.
And somebody I know, like maybe Gotsker or one of these guys, had killed a deer. Was deer hunting. And we went there, Ronnie, eviscerated it all for me. We went there and, I watched him do it. It was heavy, man. It was heavy.
That was like the old school, too. They had the track down the ceiling. They get the beef at the back door and run it down the store.
It had, the hook, right?
Hook, yeah.
You had to wear the hard hat over there. You get whacked in the head with one of them hooks.
But in Conrad's, it was like I'll never forget. I walked in. I had my little CIA neckerchief in my toolbox.
I made you throw the neckerchief in the garbage.
Yeah, and it was John Binder.
You remember Johnny, huh? Scott was the owner.
Who was the cook? Rob.
Rob Hamburg.
Rob.
Rob went on to work for David Burke for many years.
No kidding.
Rob 2 summers ago ran Gurney's and now is in Florida. But Rob, like I said, went and opened restaurants for Burke all over the country.
Dudes had skills. And then that guy, Lance, he was on grill.
Lance, I can't remember Lance's last name exactly, but he went on. I don't think he's in the business no more, but he did marry one of those girls that worked there.
Yeah, it was like a pastry chef or something, or she was
she was she was like a waitress, but she had she was those guys. Those guys that own Conrad's, Mark and Scott, they owned Canterbury Ales in Oyster Bay first. So a lot of those guys, Lance and the girl, and a lot of people used to come from Canterbury's at times when we were down or whatever. I think Lance was like a waiter over there, and they were like, oh, he wanted to be a cook. So, again, I had no right being the executive chef at that age.
That place was busy, man.
And it was a super popular place. Those 2 guys knew a lot about the business. They knew a lot about what to do. They had a wine Cuvée system, which meant they
Yeah,
poured wine like they had like 13 different
Wine on tap.
varietals, like poured through nitrogen, so you couldn't like it.
And those big jars on the bar, those infusions. That place was like that.
First
That
time
place
I
is
ever
the real
seen an
deal.
infusion jar. Yeah, we had a French rotisserie. We had like a real rotisserie to cook like different. We had chickens and steaks, and we put salmon on that fucking thing. It was wild.
That station was madness. 2 man saute. I'll never forget that shit.
That was the corner right by the kitchen door. Massive.
Massive.
Well, that's where I started when I first worked there. They hired me. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're looking to hire a sous chef." I was like, "Oh, where's the chef?" They were like, "Hey, he's on vacation." I was like, "The chef's not here. You gonna hire me?" Like, "Yeah." So I came in. I worked like a week before the guy came back, and he comes in. He's like, "I told the story before." He's like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "I'm this new sous chef. I'm Chris." And then a week later, they sat me down. They're like, "Yeah, can you do Joe's menu?"
Dude.
I was like, yeah, I guess, I don't want to say no to nobody. I was
Welcome
like
aboard.
25, I was like, yeah, I'll do Joe's menu.
That place was crazy.
Joe was gone. That was it for Joe.
Yeah, that's one of my only regrets is as I left that place because it was hard, and Rob was kind of heavy on me.
Rob was a bad guy, mean guy.
He was a little mean, but
Mean
I
guy.
didn't know at the time. I wish I can go back in time and change it.
Like
stick it up.
all of us.
But
I
I
mean,
get it. I get it.
I was 25. I think Rob was maybe 21.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I was 19.
Yeah, you were 19. But, you left Conrad's, and I know you bounced around Long Island a little bit and then went right
A little bit.
out west,
I went out
no?
west. Yeah, I was after that. I went at Huntington Yacht Club for a while. Same thing. I was a sous chef there, and then the chef just kind of bounced.
He's out.
He left, and then I was there.
You see these caterings and these yachts. They,
Did some
they
catering.
Move, they move. They
Yeah,
move chefs in
yeah.
and out. You know what I mean? If you're young and you have a lot of, you got a lot of movement in you, and you're dedicated, you're gonna make an impression on somebody.
Yeah, I went to John Anthony's before California.
John Anthony's.
Yeah.
Who was Angelo was in charge?
Filigrano. Well, Angelo Riccio was the front, and Chef Filigrano. That guy,
Phil.
that guy was
And
an
what
animal.
about Steve Squatiro? Was he
Steve
there?
was there. Steve was there. Yeah. That was before they opened up.
Before the Vanderbilt.
Before the Vanderbilt.
Yeah, like I met Steve.
They
at
were
the
doing that towards
Vanderbilt.
the town of my stint.
Also, like they were building the Vanderbilt at the time.
Yeah.
Angelo was some kind of character, right?
Crazy.
Wild.
Wild, dude. We used to, every Thursday we'd have meetings, a meeting before the weekend, go over all the contracts.
Right.
And we have hours of lectures about service
And the
and
guy
and dedication. But he knew
and
shit.
he didn't look like a service guy,
Well,
right? Tattoos. He looked like a biker. You know what
tip
I
top.
mean?
That place was tip top.
But the guy knew service. He knew the business really,
Chef
really
was
well.
Chef was an animal.
Chef was
All
awesome.
love for that guy.
So now it's called the Piermont. Stevie Squatiro, he owns the Piermont now.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's the owner. We had him on a podcast.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I went to visit him.
What?
I went to visit him, and he's like, he has Angelo's office. I'm like, oh, you had to get you couldn't wait to get this office, didn't you?
Angelo had like a closet with all these suits. He had
Fuck, I lived there. The guy was there all the time.
he used to tell us, he goes, I'll get anyone $1,000 cash. You can last 2 minutes with me out in the parking lot. I almost did. I'm like,
He wanted to roll.
Anytime.
He was like a black belt or something.
Yeah, he was
The
like,
guy was a badass.
he was funny.
Well, he had a bunch of cool friends. Stevie told me once one of the Hells Angels got married over there, and like the tablecloths were all like a lot of tattoo guys were there, a lot of artistic guys were there, and they drew all over the tablecloths. And then they wanted them at the end of the wedding. They took them all. They were like, no, you can't take the tablecloths. They were like, no, we're going to take the tablecloths.
Thanks for the gift.
We're going to take these. And Steve was like, oh, okay, you're going to take the tablecloths.
Steve, that's so funny, man.
Yeah, great guy, yeah.
And then my son's mother, she was a server there, so we moved to California together.
You went with a girl.
With a girl, we jumped in my car. And we didn't have
That's
any plans.
your oldest boy. How old is he now?
He's 18 now.
18.
He's graduating this year. It's nuts.
Graduating high school.
So we drove to San Diego. Took a couple weeks.
You
just
drove to San Diego.
cruised across the country. Stopped, visited some family. We did the Painted Desert in Arizona. We went to Grand Canyon.
But why San Diego? Why not L.A.? Why not San Francisco?
She had lived there once before. Knew a couple people.
She knew the area.
I heard it was nice weather.
It's easy to get to Tijuana too.
That too. Had good times. And then I did really well out there. It was
That's
a
like the
little 5.5
Gaslight
years.
District, right? Is that where you work?
That was
Gas lamp?
eventually I ended
What
up
do they
there. The
call
gas
it?
lamp.
Gas
Gaslight,
lamp.
yeah. We opened
So
a restaurant and
all the streets are lined with those old school lamps,
Yes,
gas lamps.
and the restaurant there we won best new restaurant in San Diego magazine. It was like 2000.
Really?
And I won
Best new restaurant.
Best new restaurant, and I was runner up for best chef.
Really?
25, 26.
So what was different about working? Because again, we're talking about the early '90s, And what was like the major change in food, like from going from Long Island? You weren't even we weren't even New York City. We were in Long Island.
Yeah, well, when I was here, that's when Panama Hattie was at the Zenith. Blake Verity was there, and Matt was his sous chef, and they were they were crushing it. So I went there often. So I'd go by myself, just because that was like my
just to see
what they were doing.
Yeah.
And when I got to San Diego, it was first of all, when I first got there, I couldn't believe it. Walking around, I live in Ocean Beach. Just being on the water, I can't believe this is where we live. That was I ended up working in Del Mar too.
Seals on the beach.
But everything was like, exactly, for real. It was like, just light, lots of fish, lots of salads, and that's when like the fusion thing was happening. So a lot of, vinaigrettes, which is everything was like a salad, a protein, and like a beurre blanc of sorts.
Okay, but not like Asian things like that. You're not saying that. More like very light, or like Alice Waters, things like that.
My first job was called Mix, and the whole thing was cuisine with no boundaries.
No boundaries.
And there were 4 owners. And one was a Filipino woman, and one of the chefs there, she was from, where is she from? Indonesia. So we had a lot of spicy stuff.
Right.
She used to eat habaneros, man. Just eat them, throw on the line.
Eat them straight?
Straight up. She'd fill them with lemon juice.
I seen the Mexican guys do that in the city, but I would never.
Loco.
That's not good. The guy had a big welt on his head, and he would take the can. That was mostly Chipotle. They would take a can of Chipotle out of their little backpack, and then whatever we had made for family meal, they would take a bite and take a bite and take a bite and take a bite.
Nuts, man.
Wow.
And then lots of Mexican food, which was all new to me too. It was crazy. So some of the I still stay in touch with these guys. Really.
Oh, you go out? Do you go out there on vacation?
I've been out a couple times. My boy, I worked for him. I was his sous chef for 2 places. I went out to his wedding. He flew me out there. I was gonna help him open this place called Carnita Snack Shack. So I went out to help him open it, but he got held up with some paperwork. So I just kind of hung out for the week.
Right.
And we went to a farm who was going to be getting the pigs. We slaughtered the pig. We gutted it, skinned it.
Really?
We ate it. We grilled his heart up. Then we got these matching pig tattoos together.
I see you got that one on your neck?
Yeah, he got the same one.
He got the same one.
And then we went to Animal in LA, that restaurant Animal.
Animal.
Yeah.
That's like a pig, like an abstract drawing of a pig. Yeah,
yeah.
I like it.
And,
first, I thought it was like the meat guide of the pig. It looked at my first glance, like the meat buyer's guide.
Yeah, that book's a shit.
Yeah. Murray Berkowitz used to give them out, but now they make you pay for it.
Yeah, it's a good book.
The Canadian one, Cisco gives out for free. The Canadian meat guide, not the USDA one.
But it was good, man. San Diego was local. It was crazy. Lots of good times, good restaurants.
So you're out there how many? 5 years?
A little over 5 years, yeah.
What made you come back to New York?
It was, I don't know, man, a couple things. My family, it was just kind of losing control a little bit. It was just time to get out of there. It was time.
So you come back to New York, you're hanging around, you're doing your thing. What was the first big spot here in New York?
First thing, I was Oscars in St. James. We opened up. You remember that place?
Oh, I visited a few times.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I was 03.
At that location, there's been a lot of spots, but nobody has had the success that the Oscars had. Now, you had like the guy you worked with, or there was like another chef over there, like a French guy?
Well, that was Philippe Corbert. He went in when I left.
He took the spot.
He took the spot. I
right.
went and became O's.
So
I went to Tellers.
Right.
And then now Philippe, he's out east now, out in the Hamptons, out
right?
Montauk too. He went to Boulay in the city.
So
a lot of good guys who played for that place. Oscars.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of hot stuff coming out of there. No, they're having a hard time with it. The last few guys.
Yeah.
Hey, it's your boy Chef Cholo from the Go Crying to Walk In podcast. And if you're like me, you yearn for that old school relationship between purveyors and chefs. Nowadays, they got me going on a website, looking up my own orders, placing my own orders. I don't even know if the thing's going to get delivered the next day. I got nobody to talk to. If you're looking for that old school service with aggressive pricing, look no further than American Food Connection. What you do is you call the number at the bottom of the screen, you ask for Danny, and you get it straight. You already know. So you said Tellers. You were over there at that was like in its first when it first opened.
It was 03. They've been open a while.
Mark Bynum was over there.
I got there 03. I guess it was 05. Mark Bynum. He was after me there.
He was after you, Mark.
Yeah, I was there. They hired me, and my second day, they said, "Oh, we had a big meeting. They let the chef go on my second day." So we just need you guys. There was 3 of us, 3 sous chefs.
Right.
Busy place.
Cranking.
Good busy.
Cranking.
And just hold it down until we get a new chef. You know, I didn't even know my way around the place. It was
Right.
my second day. And then about a month in, they brought in a guy named Alan Kwan.
Right.
He
Alan.
came from Vegas. He was at Picasso in Vegas.
Wow.
Good place. So they were kind of like a not rebrand, but the rebirth of Tellers. So I was there a little over a year. Just wasn't feeling it. Wasn't for me after that. You know.
Yeah, I mean, steak is cool.
It's cool.
But it's
Great
not-
experience.
It's a good,
Good experience.
I think everybody should work in a steakhouse like that and learn the idea
Serious
of
business.
what infrared, what that infrared
Crazy.
broiler is about, what it is to create char on a steak, not just grill it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a whole
It's a
different
science,
animal.
for
Yeah, it's
sure.
a science, and I did it for a little while too, so I could appreciate that. But I could see where the creativity could run dry on that. I mean, those guys are awesome guys. The Bolson Group, they do an awesome
They don't play around.
job.
Brian,
They're
they
serious
do
cats.
not play around.
Yeah,
Seriously.
serious cats.
And then it was cool because the guy who was a GM at the time, he left right before I left, and he went to Nonina. I ended up linking up with him again, and I was in Nonina for about 6 years, I think I was.
That was an awesome restaurant
Went
too.
really well. And we decided, we should kind of run its course. We closed it up. It was kind of in limbo, bouncing around. I was a partner there, so it kind of hurt,
Right.
kind of the way things went down.
Is that something you see that happens a lot, where the restaurant owners, they see that the chef is a big part of what they do, and they try and offer a partnership? Is that something you pay into, or is that something that you kind of you get from your sweat?
I think that was from the sweat. I had been there, and I was actually going to leave, and then I didn't want to leave, but I felt it was time, and then we sat down, and he's like, we'll bring in.
Right.
So I stayed, and then just, we
Those
did
are
it
like
until-
one owner over there, or was that multiple owners?
There was one when I was there.
Right.
Paul Anaboli. Great guy.
Right.
He treated me well.
He still
really
owns
did.
the store
He
now.
owns the property. He owns the property.
Oh, so he's like the landlord.
He's a landlord.
Yeah, that's beneficial.
Yeah. He bought it towards the end. Yeah.
Not paying rent is good in the end. If you could get to that, right? Yeah.
And then I bounced around. I had a business plan, and I just was I had some people that wanted to help me out and invest a little bit.
Right.
And I met with Drew Dvorkin.
So how do you when you say I had a business plan?
I put one
How do
together.
you shop investors? How do you do that?
I just kind of had the plan, and I just kind of was waiting, just kind of feeling out. And my boy Matt Arnold's, who I met through my wife, they worked together doing real estate. We hit it off, and he knows a lot of people being from the South Shore. And he linked me up with Drew, who owns Finley's,
Right.
Local Burger.
Oh, Finley's like in Huntington.
No, Finley's in Bayshore.
In Bayshore. So the guy's got a lot of business down there.
He
in
knows a lot of
Bayshore.
people.
That's some town now,
So
huh?
we chit-chatted, and then the spot that Linwood's in now, he opened up the barbecue spot.
That was
Mark.
Mark Bynum
Mark
was
was
the chef
there.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah. I did visit the barbecue spot once. It's a really cool space.
It's a great spot.
man. It's a great space.
And
yeah.
we linked up. That didn't work out. They closed it up, and then we linked up again about a year later.
Right.
And we decided, let's do it. So now it's been almost 4 years.
Been 4 years and going strong.
Going strong, man. We had our
Now-
busiest week last week.
Busiest week last week.
And almost 4 years last week.
And then now Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Booked out.
You're booked out. Booked out.
Not going on.
So how do you feel since pandemic? How did you guys handle pandemic? Let's talk about that for a minute.
That was nuts. We closed for, we only opened, I think it was around 8 months when it
You were
happened.
freshly open.
Fresh.
And
We were just getting going.
your type of thing wasn't something that was to go ready,
We
takeout.
weren't
ready.
doing any of those platforms. None of the takeout, none of the
You
DoorDash,
kind of
anything.
just stopped it.
So
When they said shut down, you shut down.
we powered down a couple weeks. We got to try something. So
Right.
we opened up. Like everyone else, to go program.
To go stuff, right?
To go cocktails, all these things. And then once we finally opened, we kept on our staff, and then we opened up as soon as we could. And
That's what it took a pandemic to let people drive drunk. To buy a drink and get in your car with a straw.
It was amazing the amount of to go.
Capri Suns
Yeah,
with liquor in
We
it.
had like these little,
The bags, right?
drinks for two.
Yeah, drinks for two.
People were getting 5, 6 things to the clip, bro. Crazy.
Dude, there was a guy I can't remember the name, but there was a guy in Oyster Bay with a drive-through where you could buy a yard of a frozen alcoholic beverage in your car, through a window, and drive home.
But, people were getting the gnarly creations. They would come up with the crazy things. I mean, when you're forced to do something,
You gotta do
you
it, yeah.
rise, and we were. And, we were. I have great partners. I have a great crew, and the crew that we started with, they're still with me. Same sous chef.
So you made
Same
it.
cooks.
So your group of guys, your guys made it through a pandemic and they stayed on with you, and they're still
we
here with you
applied for
now.
the loans, and and we paid our staff, and
Right.
during look, we opened up, It was bad.
You were fresh, yeah.
You
Who knew that would ever happen?
Doing 6,000 in a week. But we were open. We were
Serving.
Right. And little by little, and then we started with the parties, which we hadn't been doing. And now we do parties on the weekends,
So what do you have, that space that's like the outside part?
We
Is
have
that
outside.
Where you do the party thing?
Well, we do day parties, so it's dedicated. So we're not trying to do service on one side.
Right.
You know how hard it is trying
So
to do.
normally you're not open for lunch.
Right.
And you book like an afternoon thing.
So
Is it mostly on the weekends?
Saturdays and
or
Sundays only,
Saturdays
and
and
we are booked. Check this out. We're booked until September of this year already.
So what's a typical thing, like showers?
It's wild. It's almost only baby showers and bridal showers.
Well, that's a Saturday afternoon thing.
That's it. 35, 55 guests every weekend.
And it's a young town now, Bayshore.
Yeah.
You got,
and the apartments are going up.
condos,
Crazy.
apartments. So there's people that are having kids and people that want to
Yeah.
have that kind of stuff. And they don't want to have it at, some catering hall or something that's
Yeah.
like kind of boring. They still want to have their friends in a cool place. Linwood's got a great reputation. Like, even
Right.
if the girl says, oh, the baby shower's going to be the Linwood, and someone will go, oh, we were there Saturday,
Yeah.
or we were there Friday, or we want to go for Valentine's Day, or whatever. So,
That's great.
people don't love going to a baby shower sometimes, but if they're at a really cool spot, I could see where it's
Yeah.
beneficial. So you're saying you're booked out for how long?
September 4th.
Dominic, you hear that? You're not allowed to have the baby shower at the
We're booked
Linwood.
every weekend, dude. It's great. We booked out a couple of days just so I can get a Sunday off here and there.
Sunday off.
But
So you get
we'll take
days
it.
off, Henry?
We'll close Mondays.
That's good,
And,
yeah.
So I'm
is that-
getting a little more time off now because it's for the last 3.5 years it's just been full speed ahead.
Yeah. How does that work? That's good for your staff, though. Like, everybody in the store gets the same day off.
Same days.
You don't got to, like, mix up crews.
You know, my Sue's Monday, Tuesday.
Right.
I'm Sunday night, Monday.
Sunday, Monday.
Um,
You guys do brunch over there? Oh, no.
we
you
were
the
doing
catering.
brunch,
You do
but
the
then
catering.
the party started knocking at the door, and we did one. We're saying,
Yeah.
trying to do a brunch on one day a week, 2 days, and you have all these eggs left, all the stuff you don't normally use, and the
Catering
parties.
is great.
Catering's great.
On Monday, you know it's going to be on Saturday, and then the next Monday, you know it's going to be on the next Saturday. So you're not guessing. There's no, oh, how are we going to do good? Is it going to rain? Is it going to snow? They're going to come.
And it's just myself and my I call her my prep woman, but she helps me run the place.
Right.
Conception. She's been with me since day one, and
She's been with you, or she came with the
been with us.
store, or
she was there and she left, and then when we opened, she came back.
Right.
We were a couple weeks in, and like, oh, we need help, and then she came in, and she was like a ray of sunshine, this woman. And,
so you do all the purchasing over there,
I
everything.
do it all.
Like, what's your idea on, like, what's next for you? Like, what
That's
do
a
you
good question,
think?
man.
What do you think, like, you would want to see out of the Linwood? What are you seeing out there? Like,
We're
on
gonna keep
social
it going.
media and stuff like that.
I
Watermelon popcorn?
Yeah,
You've seen that, right?
I actually haven't.
You didn't see the watermelon
No,
popcorn?
I haven't seen it. Is that weed?
No. Oh, no, it's wild. You don't watch TikTok.
No, I'm not
Oh.
on TikTok.
I'm a TikTok addict. So, yeah, the guy takes – so it's always somewhere in, like, Asia. I don't know where. It's Japanese, Thailand. I don't know where it happens. But, there's like a big vat of some kind of boiling oil, and they throw whole watermelon into this boiling oil. Watermelon. You hear me now? And it gets boiled up, and it gets to color, and the watermelon breaks down. Then they throw popcorn kernels into this oil, right? You're going to Google it when you leave. I wish I could do it right now.
I'm going to do it.
And then this pink popcorn just comes flowing out of the oil. And it was all over the social media for months. That was my big thing. Watermelon popcorn. Chef, are we having the water? But anyway, I mean,
But for me, excuse me, my partner and I, we've been talking about this lately. We'd like to do more things together. And I feel like I'm ready for the next step. To
Another
run
spot.
multiple stores. We did open a place in Sayville called Bait and Tackle. I guess it's been a year already.
Bait and tackle is
Bait
you
and Tackle,
guys?
yeah.
Yeah, and so that's like a bar type spot.
It's a bar. It's definitely a fun place. It's a very long bar.
In Sayville, you said?
In Sayville, yeah, right on Main
What did that
Street.
used to be?
It was an Irish pub, Irish Crossing.
Oh,
or something.
okay,
It's right next to the Friendlies. Oh, the irony, huh?
Irony.
Full circle, eh?
My barber shop used to be in Friendly in Sayville, but now it moved. So I used to hang around that town. It's a nice little town. I
Yeah.
got my teeth fixed over there. Shout out to my boy over there.
That's next for me too.
Fixed up my chompers.
Yeah.
You know what they do, bro? They rip every teeth out of my head. Like, everyone gets ripped out, and you go home like a hillbilly. And then the next day they put in this temporary thing, and like it took a year.
Sure.
And then I got fresh chompers.
Hey, look
man.
good, bro.
You're ready to go. Thank you. I'm on the TV now. You know what I mean? I can't have the bad choppers.
But yeah, man, I want to do multiple stores, and like, I love the business, nothing but love. It's been 30 years. I have no regrets, mostly, except just really quitting Conrad's is one of my big regrets. I'm not gonna lie, man.
Get out.
I talk about it often. I used to say to Rob, one day I'm gonna be good. You'll see. We used to argue.
Is that what you
man.
told Hamburg?
I'll say one day,
God.
I'm gonna get better.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna call. I'll see if he will never remember. He's out of his mind. I'm like, you remember that, Henry?
But that
Kid
place
came on
left
a skateboard.
It left such a mark on my mind. That place, just because it was my first busy, and I still remember the dishes. 3-pan, 4-pan pickups. I remember that dinner.
There wasn't. We did a lot of wine dinners.
I was there. It was like sear tuna with the rigatoni and the morels.
There just wasn't a lot of restaurants like that.
There were not.
90s, I mean,
there were not.
You mentioned Panama Hattie's.
Yeah.
Maybe there was like 10 that had eclectic menus and, different things. And
the Tupelo Honey over there was big.
That was Mike Meehan,
Yeah.
That was an awesome restaurant.
Yeah.
Like those guys. So those are the guys. So Blake would come to my spot. Tom,
those are the guys I looked up.
Michael would come to the spot. We would talk. They were still older than me, but those were the guys that I looked up to and, still refer to now. I did a podcast with Tom a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was incredible. It was incredible. Now, you're also in a band, no?
I'm in a band.
Hardcore band. Rock and roll.
It's pretty dope. Half-ton session.
Half-ton session. Abe, you're going to get the new half-ton session cut? I could tell Abe's into hardcore music, man. I could tell as soon as I saw him. That's Mellow Man Abe on the board.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, we're going to keep him.
Yeah, I'm in a band, and it's great, man.
So where does the band play? You just play in the studio? You play at a spot?
We're playing at Mr. Beery's in a couple months, doing a fundraiser
Don't tell me
there.
Mr. Beery.
Mr.
Beery's isn't open.
It's still there.
In on Hempstead Turnpike?
Hempstead Turnpike, yeah.
It's still open,
Still
Mr.
there.
Beery's? And that guy's dead, though, the Mr. Beery.
Is that right?
I don't know. Oh, you don't know?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think he is, but
no, he's still alive, the guy.
I imagine it's probably how you remember it. It's that little narrow place.
I used to remember fighting a lot in the bathroom.
But yeah, that's it, man. We play the local circuit,
Yeah, I like that, man. So Super Norm's in the band.
Norm's in the band.
All guys from John Glenn.
Yeah,
Mike Scroll. Now,
graduate, and then Mike Smith. He's from Northport.
Mike Scroll. He was always in the band. He did a lot of things. Or this was new to him too. You guys formed this together.
Formed this together. And,
but Mike was always in a band, no?
They were always, they were in a band before.
Because I know Norm was not a band guy. He wasn't even. I remember Norm used to we used to do Super Norm for the Rock Gut shows, and Norm used to do the stage diving. I remember that, but I know he didn't always play bass.
He was in a band with Danny Perez.
Tony Perez.
Tony Perez.
Tony Perez.
Tony Perez. He played drums, and then Jay played.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, Tony Perez is a legend.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah, long time.
And then. When I was at Nonina, I bought Perez's old drum kit. Actually, he's like, "Yo, buy a drum." So
that Ludwig kit you bought.
No, that's my new kit.
Oh,
but I bought a kit from him, and we set the drums in the basement at Nonina. We go there on Monday nights. We were closed, and we'd play down there.
Tony had a bass drum that was like that big.
Yeah, he was good, dude. And then that's not off the table taking over the world with our band either.
But to have that kind of outlet to be able to play music and.
It's great.
It's still very artistic, and what we do is artistic. Being chefs is very artistic.
What's super fresh is the first show we ever played out as a band. It was an open mic night, and it was at Even Flow, which is now the Linwood restaurant.
No.
Is that nuts?
That's crazy.
That's nuts. The same spot.
I love that.
That's destiny, man.
That's the kind of shit I love about this.
It's dope.
That's great. That's great.
In fact, the last picture I have of my family before my dad passed was at our show.
Your dad just passed, right?
Well, dude, you think it's just, but it's been probably
how many years?
8 years, 9
8?
years. Yeah,
about the same time my dad then.
It could, I don't even know, dude. It's blurry. It was in
my dad's been gone 10 years. Yeah, 10.
But we were there in the dining room. Now it's a dining room. It was.
And you were watching. He was there watching music.
There. And that's the last family picture we have of the 5 of us.
Wow.
My sisters and my mom.
That's awesome.
And now it's at the Linwood. Nuts, right?
Yeah. So you're watching you social media? I mentioned TikTok.
I'm on Instagram.
Just the gram. I catch you on the Instagram. I share stuff with you.
I have a new daughter now. She's 10 months. So
congratulations. Oh, did I see those pictures? But I see we share. What about the guy? We shared some photos. This Peter Nyland from Australia, the guy that ages fish.
Huh?
Didn't we share some stuff with that? Peter Nyland.
I think we did actually.
Fish butcher. He has like a couple of different Instagram pages. So he has this revolutionary way of like the minute the minute that fish is caught, like it's not like traditionally fish is put in water, in ice water, and we use water to butcher. We use water in the preparation of the bone of everything, and he has proven, and again, if you read about it, that water is the reason why the fish deteriorates fast. And the agents in water is the reason why it starts to build up smell and things like that. So he has like this complete dry method of butchering, and then they're actually hanging fish for weeks at a time.
That's nuts, right?
He does like anything that you thought you could make with meat. This guy I see making gyros with meat. He takes like tuna. Like I remember David Burke had this swordfish chop.
Yeah.
Now, it was from the collar of the swordfish, so you could only get 2 out of the whole giant swordfish. But this cat is like, he's taking the loin of the tuna and leaving some of the bones on those little pinny bones.
And he's doing like ribs or something.
It looks like a freaking rack of lamb.
Yeah.
The thing looks like a rack of lamb. He wraps it. So he'll make a Wellington, and instead of using foie gras, he makes like a pate from another kind of fish liver or something like that. It's way out, man. I'm going to have to go to Australia. I thought you were down with that.
I'll go.
I'm gonna have you check that out for sure.
Yeah, man.
And what about TV? You got James chance for TV? Watch The Menu.
I don't watch much TV. I recently
about the
learned
bear?
how to play chess. And all my free time, I downloaded some chess apps.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. It's I love it. I'm addicted.
Chess is intense, man.
Chess is good, man.
You ain't got no time for television.
Yeah, I don't watch TV, man.
That's all right. That's my addiction, brother. I need TV.
I'm on my phone, I suppose. I'm always looking at. I do follow a lot of chefs on Instagram. See what's going on. That's the cool thing about it. It's everything's connected now, which is, I guess, it's a good and bad because there's a lot of similarity in a lot of foods now. Everyone's kind of doing similar stuff. But
what I like about what I see about food now is finally just coming back. You know what I mean? I usually term everything is root beer at one point, so everything comes back to the basic part of your life, the basic part that makes you feel the best. For me, it's soda. For other people, whatever. You know what I mean? It's root beer. It's tradition. Things like that. But that's what I think I see about food right now. I don't know if you agree with me.
You coming back to the OG
Just
stuff?
being normal again. Not so much preparation. Not so much.
When I was in San Diego, that's when the whole the molecular was blowing up, and it was just like weird. Like
it's a lot of thinking.
The whole a lot of thinking. Like deep fried fish skeleton wrapped in cotton candy, all that weird shit.
And then everyone's got these scales, and it's like I never worked with a scale, bro. I was like this and this and that. You know what I mean? Like the guy says, "Oh, we're gonna use xanthan gum, but you have to measure it." Okay, I don't measuring.
Yeah,
I'm winging the xanthan in, and like all of a sudden the thing's like a block.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, and you see like the traditional, like the guys, like even like Laverne and Denton, they're doing some cool stuff, but it's still pretty traditional. Classic methods.
That's what I see getting more popular now. That's what I see people looking at.
Method and technique, properly done, ace.
It's hard to buy food. It's expensive to buy food, and we still got to find a way to sell it and make people happy. So, if you start to, scale down what we're doing to it, we can make money off of it again and build this thing back up again.
Yeah, at the Linwood, we started out, we were thinking, like bar and grill kind of thing, but definitely high, a good cocktail program. Nothing too fancy. We sell tons of steak frites. We had a great burger. The simple things seem to do better.
Your drink program is really hot over there. I see a lot of that on your social media.
Pretty tight, yeah.
You got those. Great job. You got them bartenders that look like chefs.
Yeah, and we got a great crew.
They look like barbers or chefs. We're like all the same. We get you get an apron. You could be a bartender, a chef, or barber.
Yeah. Seriously. And it's great. It's a great spot. Yeah. I'm very, very fortunate and very
listen,
happy.
Bro, I wish you all the luck in the
good
future.
Stuff, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for
man.
coming and
it's
hanging out. I know you got limited time, brother.
All good.
Fresh baby over at the crib.
4 kids now. Yeah.
You're loaded up. Yeah.
I'm busy, dude.
Well, brother,
it's all good. All
Thank
love.
you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, man.
All right. You've been listening to the Go Crying to Walk In podcast. I'm Chef Cholo, and as always, we are powered by Hospitality News Magazine and Hospitality News Magazine Online. And if you're a cat that wants to have your finger on the pulse of everything hospitality, look no further. You already know. That's it.